Hello, everybody, and welcome to the top 5 new comics for January 9th and 10th of 2024. I'm, as always, Chris. Boy, do I have some cool comics to talk about with this week, so let's jump right into it. Starting with Ultimate Spider-Man #1. This is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Marco Checchetto. So, if you followed me for a while, you know I love the Ultimates universe. The original one was just so much fun. Everything about it, like there was so many similarities with the regular Marvel universe, but they took some chances. They made things stick. There's just so much there to enjoy. And I love the idea of doing this whole line that's a parallel universe. Now, I know the original story, that it was supposed to be a Marvel reboot, and that was how they were going to reboot the entire Ultimate Universe. But it ended up being its own thing and staying that way, which I think in hindsight, you could say either way how that works out for Marvel, but I loved it personally. And I think it just allowed them to do things where consequences really mattered much more. And not in the insular, this is how the story is today matters, but for the long haul, they tried to make things matter. They were not perfect, but they tried, and they did a pretty good job of it. So the Ultimates line was always great to me. With this, I loved Hickman's Ultimate Invasion from last year, how he's starting off this universe, the differences, the different things he's doing with it as opposed to the original one, and bringing certain elements over, not bringing certain elements over. There's just a lot here. For this book in particular, one, I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan in the world. I liked Ultimate Spider-Man. I jump in and out of the regular Spider-Man book. But for one, Hickman's writing it. Hickman's one of my favorite writers ever. I think he's one of the best in the business. Marco Checchetto's doing the art. I love Checchetto's art. His Daredevil run with Chimp from last year and years back is some of the best Daredevil art recently that I can think of. And I just think he's a great artist for this character. And the idea of kind of a middle-aged Spider-Man who's already got a family, has kids, all these things, and then gets to become Spider-Man. So we're taking out the teenage Spider-Man years. He's just learning as kind of an adult, as an older man, actually. And juggling that superhero stuff with middle age and raising kids and everything. And I mean, there's potential there for other things. There's potential there for Spider-Girl to eventually come into the limelight down the line and stuff like that. But for now, we've got this cool new version of Peter with a superstar creative team. I just think it's going to be so much fun. And I'm really looking forward to this book. I've been waiting for the Ultimate line to come back. They've been talking about it for a while, and now it's here, and I get to enjoy it fresh from the start. And it's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. After that, I've got Giant Size Spider-Man #1. This is written by Cody Ziglar with art by Artist-Iban Coello. So it's funny. I just said I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, and then 2 of my top 5 for this week are Spider-Man books. But Miles has been a character since his inception that I've just really loved. I love I think for the most part, when I talk to Spider-Man fans, my favorite version of Spider-Man is always the younger Spider-Man. So that's why I really like Spider-Girl, and that's probably why I really like Miles, is that we get kind of a teenage, a coming of age story with superpowers. And that's what makes Miles so interesting to me, is it gave Marvel a way to have their cake and eat it too. They get to have an middle 20s to 30s Spider-Man, and they get to have a 17 to 19-year-old Spider-Man at the same time. And I think Cody Ziglar has been knocking it out of the park with his Miles Morales book so far. And he gets a chance here, a giant size book that they don't come around that often. So it's really cool to see that Miles is getting one. But what's also really cool is we're bringing in it's Miles' chance to fight Venom. And I believe, I could be wrong here, but I believe it's the first time he's fought Venom in the 616 universe. I'm pretty sure he fought him in the Ultimates universe. And at that, he gets to fight the Dylan Brock version. So it's the new passed on lineage Venom character, which is also really cool. I really love that Donny Cates Venom run. So just all in all, everything here, I just really love it. And I'm really hoping that Cody and crew do a good job of making this a new jumping on point where new readers could jump on, maybe people who just played the Spider-Man 2 video game, or people who have been interested and say, like, here's a cool one and done story with Miles, and this is how it's going to go into the regular Miles Morales book. But we will see about that. But I will hold out hope because I'm really loving his run, and I want more and more people to jump onto it. After that, I've got Thunderbolts number 2. This is written by Jackson Lanzing and Colin Kelly with art by Geraldo Borges. So, you should all know, if you've listened to any of the Fortune Comic News podcasts, how much I love Lanzing and Kelly, the hive mind, as everybody calls them. And then also just Thunderbolts is a premise. It's Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad, but it's a premise that I always just really enjoy. A bunch of villains coming together and doing whatever villains do. I mean, sometimes they fight crime, sometimes they got some other shenanigans going on. You never know. But this crew in particular is a little different because we've got Demolisher, we've got Bucky Barnes, we've got the White Widow, and a few others coming together with one mission at hand. And I love that the mission is to kill the Red Skull. So they're on an assassination mission. They're going to take out Red Skull. They're done. He's killed too many people. He's done too much. This needs to end, which is a cool story arc all in all, because Bucky, much like Cap, has been fighting Red Skull since the 40s. He was there with them. He knows this character and has been by Cap's side for many of these fights. And Bucky's now taking this arc with Lanzing and Kelly really pushing it with his Cap run and a few other books they've done, pushing Bucky into this new direction and really having Bucky kind of deal with some of the decisions he's made throughout his life. And one that he feels like he needs to deal with is Red Skull and the fact that he's still alive. Just all in all, I'm really, really loving this book. I mean, the first issue was great. I thought the first issue was just, from start to finish, a phenomenal story, a phenomenal bringing the team together story. And and then, getting, I forgot to mention Red Guardian's on the team. There's just so much here that I'm really, really loving. And I think y'all will love it too. So after that, I've got Titans Beast World number 4. This book is written by Tom Taylor with art by Lucas Meyer. Or Meyer? It might be Meyer. Lucas Meyer. If you told me a year ago I'd be recommending a Titans book to you, I'd told you you're crazy. I'm not a big Titans guy. I just never really enjoyed the premise, and none of the characters really spoke to me. Never was big on Nightwing. I'm usually kind of thrown out of conversations with DC fans because I'm like, I don't know. I watched Teen Titans Go. I really like that, but that's really about it. And I get my crap for it, but just my taste never aligned with Titans. But my taste do align with Tom Taylor, and I've always been more of a Marvel guy. I mean, you all see in the background, I rep a giant Marvel flag. I'm a Marvel zombie through and through. That doesn't mean I don't read other stuff. It just means that's my fandom started with Marvel. I love Marvel. But it doesn't mean I don't read DC. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff over at DC. And I've actually been giving them a lot of credit recently because I think they've stepped up their game to where I think a lot of their overall product, I think, is better than Marvel right now. And that starts with the week to week books where they're doing the right things under the stewardship of Joshua Williamson. And it doesn't end, but one of the peaks is their events have been so good. And this is proof of it. I don't read any Titan stuff. You can't get me to read Titan stuff. But when Night Terrors ended and it said to be continued in Titan's Beast World, I was like, well, I got to at least try it out because I love Night Terrors. I thought it was just a great event. And so I picked it up, and that first issue was so good. You can go back to the podcast to see my feelings on it, but all in all, I was like, this is really good, but I'm worried about issue 2. Issue 2 came out. It's just been great ever since. I think this book, even if you never read Night Terrors, you can jump into it. I mean, there's a little confusion on who Dr. Hate is, but you'll get it. Don't worry. It's not like a huge stretch. It's an evil Dr. Fate. It's all it is. And I love Amanda Waller is really the big bad of DC right now, what she's doing in the background, and with her new Suicide Squad and everything. It's just DC's been doing a great job of event books. I think this book is a masterclass of how to do an event book so far. We'll see how it ends. I don't make judgments on books mid through because while comic endings are rough, endings do matter. And we got to see how it ends. But right now, one of the best books out there. I'm just loving it so much. So enough of that. We're going to end with a good one. I've got Acid Chimp versus Business Dog #1. This is written by Mark Russell with art by Bryce Ingman. On Fortress Comics, on Fortress Comic News, all the stuff we do, it's usually my my co-host on the podcast who talks about Ahoy Comics. He's a huge Ahoy Comics fan. That being said, like I still really enjoy Ahoy Comics. I haven't been able to dive as deep into them as I want to because there's just so much coming out. So I usually pick up trades after the fact. But we've got these two characters. So if you don't know, Business Dog is from Billionaire Island. I really love the first volume, Billionaire Island. I've not gotten to volume 2 yet. Acid Chimp, kind of same deal. My Bad volume 1 was so good. I haven't gotten to My Bad volume 2 yet. And these characters come from those books, both written by Mark Russell. And now they're doing like a crossover. And it's one of those wacky, fun things that like when these smaller independent publishers are done correctly, like I believe Ahoy is, like Tom Payer and crew are just crushing it on their output. But when they're doing it right, they can do some really cool, fun, unique stuff and take some chances on stuff. Because you don't have to make millions off it. They can skim a little off the top and be happy and satisfy their fan base so that they come back for more later on. And this is evidence of that. Like this, I think this book's gonna be a blast. If I don't know how much you're gonna need to know from those previous volumes. I'm hoping not too much. I mean, it's a pretty simple premise for both of these. Business Dog is a dog who's a businessman or owned by a businessman in a suit. Like there's not much more to it. He was more of kind of a mascot for Billionaire Island. And Acid Chimp, it's in the name. He's a chimpanzee who has a barrel of acid that he throws at people. And usually they trick him by putting something other than acid in it. So he's all upset about it. It's just, I can't tell you. This book's going to be a blast. I guarantee you. So everybody, that was everything from this week. I hope those are 5 great books that you all check out and enjoy. And I'm sure you will. So if you would, please do what every YouTuber tells you to do and like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the video. It helps get more eyeballs on the video and more subscribers to the channel, which I really appreciate. And if you want to follow me further, you go on Twitter or basically any social media network, type in Fortress Chris, I will pop up. You can hear me talking about all kinds of things from Philadelphia sports to comics to, I don't know, me making fun of friends online, doing all kinds of fun stuff. So follow me there, and you can keep up with all the stuff we do here at Fortress Comics. Appreciate you all so much for watching this week. See y'all here next week.